Hey guys, welcome to another Operation Arsenal video, and we are through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We've beaten AC Milan 3-1 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate, and although that scoreline is a bit flattering, it was still a good performance, especially the second half. Doesn't tell the whole story. I would say there were moments of panic and a little bit, it was a little bit scary at times, especially when they scored the opening goal. I thought, I know what's going to happen here. We're going to capitulate. But we held it together. Now, I don't want to talk about the game too much because actually I think there's some more important things that I wanted to talk about that I've seen today regarding certain players. But at the end, I will discuss, the penalty incident, how AC Milan fared, and just little things like that. But the very first thing I want to talk about when I was watching this game came to my head straight away, and also before the game, reading up on it and researching about it. Jack Wilshere still hasn't signed a new contract. Now, let me tell you why this is an absolutely huge issue and why it doesn't make sense to me. So let me tell you what the rumours are. At the moment, Wilshere wants to stay, and he is asking for a normal salary. You just get paid every week. Nothing to do with appearances, nothing to do with how many injuries, whatever. He wants £110,000 per week. Apparently, that is what he's asking for. And Arsenal won't give it to him. They want him to sign a contract which is dependent upon how many appearances he makes. An appearance-based contract. Which, I get it. I understand where Arsenal are coming from. Arsenal have dealt with Jack Wilshere's injuries for many, many seasons. If you think the amount of money that we've actually paid to keep him at the club despite not playing, it's probably a lot more than they would have wanted to spend. But that's just part of football. Some players, no matter how good or bad they are, they're going to get injured, and Wilshere's been really unlucky. However, I think tonight was his 31st appearance of this season, which is the most he's managed in a long, long time, and I think he deserves a normal contract, and I think it's nonsense. If Arsenal aren't willing to match 110k, which apparently Everton will. Sam Allardyce has literally said, we'll pay you that, Jack. Come to Everton. Even AC Milan, Juventus, they've all apparently said, we will pay you that if you come to us. But his heart is at Arsenal. He is Arsenal through and through. If you say, who is the most Arsenal player at the club right now? It's bloody Jack Wilshere. There isn't any other player that comes close to that passion that he shows, and the fact that he's been here for so long. Theo Walcott, in a similar way, was Arsenal through and through, but there's something about Jack. Jack Wilshere is an Arsenal player. For me, has to be captain from next season. Hell, I'd even give him captaincy now to keep him at the club. I would offer him 110k and captaincy to stay because he's keeping fit, and today was another great example of how good he can be and how creative he is in this setup. He was really good tonight. And the really incredible thing that really winds me up about this situation is if we're not willing to match his asking price, 110,000 per week, because it's too much money, why is it only an issue now? Why is money such a big problem now after all of the years that he's been at the club injured? After all the years we dealt with Diaby, for example. Why wasn't it an issue then? Why haven't we sold him already? We want him. It's quite clear that we want him. Just pay it. Just pay the money. We've given Mesut Ozil a huge contract. Aubameyang's got a massive contract. Kolasinac joined on a free but got a massive contract. This is just the way football is. We have to evolve with football. We can't offer the players the same money every year because if they go elsewhere, they'll get paid more. And let's say, that Juventus do come in for Wilshere. Yes, okay, it might be a bit different for Wilshere because he's an Arsenal lad. He will want to stay. But another player, look at Ramsey, for example. I'm going to move on to him in a moment. He's out of contract next year. What would stop him going to a bigger club that's, one, achieving better things, going for better trophies, and two, will pay him more money? It blows my mind that we're willing to lose Jack Wilshere over a little bit of money. I would love to know what the contract is that we've offered him. It'd be hilarious if it's something like 100,000 per week if you're fit. Because that's a joke. If you're willing to pay 100 grand, pay 110. You keep one of your best players. Without doubt, Jack Wilshere is one of our best players when fit. Sort it out. Get him to sign a contract. Losing Jack Wilshere is an absolute nightmare. It cannot happen. Keep him fit, keep him playing, he's brilliant, pay him what he wants. Aaron Ramsey and a few other players out of contract next season. He did an interview before the game, people asking him, what's going on with the contract, and he's saying, well, I appear to be down the list a bit, they're sorting out other contracts. That's nonsense. I don't care who you are. If you're going down to a year, 6 months on that contract, you are in talks. There's no doubt in my mind that Arsenal are in talks with Ramsey. They haven't agreed anything just yet, and it's early days. There's no way that he's down a pecking order. We need to be tying Ramsey down as well. Similar to Wilshere, when he's fit, he can be brilliant. He was fantastic tonight. Xhaka, another thing I want to talk about really quick. How good was he tonight? And actually, I need to be honest, guys. I've been very angry recently with Arsenal, as you'd expect. And do you know what? I'm a bit guilty, I think, of jumping on the hate bandwagon a little bit, especially regarding Granit Xhaka. So I want you guys to forgive me a little bit, because this is going to sound really hypocritical. Because over the last few weeks, I've slated him. I've said that he's not good enough. I feel really bad, because if I'm 100% honest with you guys, I think sometimes I may be too harsh. And I think I was too harsh on Granit Xhaka. Within reason, I think I was allowed to be upset with him because he has been doing poorly. But he has, since he's joined Arsenal, since he's been at the club, he has been one of my favourite players because I love that role. That's my position. That's what I used to play when I was younger, when I was fitter, and when I didn't have bloody diabetes, when I was playing football week in, week out, every night. I played DM. It's just my position. I love sitting in front of the defence and just pinging passes out. That's what Xhaka should be doing. You see how good he was tonight when he's told to sit back and just play the ball. None of this silly running around. None of the silly lunging in. He was fantastic tonight. And I really, really feel bad for slating him because I think he's being coached wrong in a way. He's being told to do something that he doesn't need to do. He's not a mobile player. He's not quick. He's not agile. He's a good passer. He's physical. He's great at getting his body in the way. That's what he should be doing. So please, can we continue with Xhaka playing DM? Please. I saw Nzonzi play against United the other night, and it made me dream of having someone like Nzonzi. I think Xhaka can do that. I really do. So I have to hold my hands up and say maybe I was jumping on that hate bandwagon, passing the buck a little bit, blaming someone just because he had a few bad games. So hopefully you guys understand that, in the heat of the moment, you do say things, especially when it's controversial. I want to make these videos interesting for you guys. And sometimes I think it skews my opinion a little bit, and I'll watch it back and think to myself, I was too harsh there, or maybe he didn't deserve that kind of criticism. Same thing with Welbeck. I made that pretty crazy comparison saying he's kind of like Sombra in Overwatch. He's not known for killing. He's just a nuisance to play against, right? I stand by that. But tonight, he was really good. He scored 2 goals. One was a penalty, which wasn't a penalty, by the way. Shocking decision. I still cannot believe that was given. I was actually embarrassed by that. It was a dive. I don't think Danny Welbeck is a diver. I think that in that occasion, at the speed he was running at, he felt contact. The ball was going out. Any other player, though, I would be shouting, getting angry at him. So why am I not angry at Welbeck? Because it's Arsenal. I mean, I'm trying my best to be not biased in these videos. So Danny Welbeck, that was shameful. Any other player and I would be going mad, so I should be going mad at Welbeck. But the fact is, at the end of the day, it hasn't really changed much because we've gone on to score many goals. And we've knocked them out by, 4 goals on aggregate, 5-1. But that penalty changed the game. At 1-1, if they scored again, we're gone. We're out. So it's definitely a difficult one, that. It wasn't a penalty, but great penalty to actually put it away. Great finish. And the goal he scored with his head as well was a really great move. I think Wilshere and Ramsey and Xhaka and Mkhitaryan and Ozil, when they're pinging the ball around, Welbeck being his usual Sombra self, just pissing everyone off, running at them. He tracks back. He's a really, really good guy. He's not the best player in the world, but he got 2 goals tonight. He's being called up to England, which is, I think, a good thing for him. Don't necessarily think he should be actually playing in the World Cup, but he's done well for England when he has played for them. So, yeah, I didn't talk too much about the game today, so why don't we talk about it a little bit more. I've touched on the penalty. AC Milan are a bit of a hit and miss. Barini at right back, not so sure that was a great idea, especially because when Kolasinac came on, we had so much play down the left side. It was overwhelming him. It really was. He's not a right back. I don't know what he's doing there. I guess some people think he can do that. Fair play, but I think that certainly affected things. I think their midfield is very strong. You know, Locatelli came on and did quite well, but Kessie, very good player. I hope they sign him permanently because he will fit in brilliantly in this AC Milan team. Andre Silva, as the commentators were calling him. I'm pretty sure it's Andre Silva. He's not very good, is he? Every time I've watched him, I don't get the hype around him. Maybe it's not the right system. I don't know. Just doesn't seem very good. I think that's kind of how I feel about AC Milan. Like, they've gone on this great run. That was their first away loss in 9 games or something crazy like that. And that's amazing. But they're not that good. If I'm honest, just watching it. Maybe, again, the 2 games against Arsenal just wasn't a great time to watch them. They didn't play very well. But maybe in the Serie A, they're finding it a bit easier and they're playing better football. But this isn't what we're going to come up against in the quarters, the semis if we get there, the final if we get there. We will be coming up against much harder opposition. We better hope that we avoid Atletico, basically. So, although it's great that we've gone through, and it's great that we've scored another 3 goals at home today, like we did against Watford, and it's 3 wins on the trot, we're somewhat climbing out of what has been a very tough time. But again, I know people are going to be asking me. Nothing's changed in my mind. If anything, this is helping my case. We need to finish strongly, switch managers and start again. I still have the opinion, and I'm of the opinion, that we should be announcing that Wenger's leaving at the end of this season. Everyone gets behind the team, the staff, whatever. Let's win the Europa League, get into the Champions League for next season, and get a new manager. But a good game today, a very good result, and I am more than happy. Hasn't been the best day ever for me. I'm feeling pretty shitty today, so that was nice to end on a high. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a like. Make sure you subscribe as well. And I will see you for our next game.